Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. If I were a substitute teacher. Occasionally I fantasize about being a substitute teacher. I picture the morning bell ringing, a kid peeking out from the classroom and seeing me walk toward the door. He goes back into the class and leads the kids in chanting, "Sub, sub, sub." I walk in and ceremoniously place a large wooden box, emblazoned with a question mark, on my desk, but they continue testing me. I stand confidently, establish eye contact with each child, if necessary walking to their desk, and I say, slowly, "Today will be a day you'll never forget." The kid who had led the chant continued to test me. He made a mouth fart. I walked over, looked him in the eye, patted him on the shoulder. He stopped, and I gave him a thumbs up. With the class wrapped, at least for the moment, I theatrically picked up the lessons that the regular teacher left for me and said, sounding as much like James Earl Jones as possible, "This is advisory. Yes, we'll do some of it, but I have prepared," and I paused, "surprises." That got them. I reached into the box and slowly pulled out a tricorn hat, put it on my head, and said, "I am George Washington." They laughed. I put my index finger over my lips, reached back into the box, and quickly pulled out 2 more tricorns and 2 powdered wigs. Those are the hats worn by signatories to the Declaration of Independence. We are going to reenact one of the most difficult decisions in history, whether the American colonists should declare independence from Britain. First, so you understand the issues, here is a brief article which you are all to read now. Then I'll ask for volunteers to play key roles in the debate. They read it. I asked them to summarize the key issues, and here's what they said. Arguments for independence. Britain imposes taxes on the Americans, but wouldn't let them be in Parliament. A hereditary monarchy is an absurd and corrupt system. Independence would free America from British economic policies that favored England over the colonies. Arguments against independence. We're British subjects and rebellion is treason. Independence would lead to civil war and massive deaths. Grievances against Britain could be resolved through peaceful means. I said, that's a good starting place for the debate. Now you're going to use your thinking skills to make those arguments persuasively and, if you wish, offer other ideas. Now, who wants to argue for independence? You'll get your choice of hat, wig, or neither. Hands shot up. And the same when I asked, now, who would like to argue against independence? Of course, there was some foolishness, but the sugar of reenactment made the medicine go down. They were learning critical thinking, ethics, gray area decision-making, rhetoric, and compromise in a way that no textbook or even classroom discussion could match. I filled the day with such activities, including virtual science experiments such as, what would make the on-screen plant grow biggest? And we did the pivotal scene from Death of a Salesman. "I put 34 years into this firm, Howard, and now I can't pay my insurance. You can't eat the orange and throw away the peel." That triggered a class discussion about the strengths and limitations of capitalism. At the end of the day, I said, your regular teacher will be back tomorrow. Everyone booed. And as I walked out, the kid who led the sub, sub, sub chant begged, "Please come back." Nice fantasy, huh? Anyway, that's if I were a substitute teacher. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 36 books, including my most just published book, favorites, which are my best essays and short stories. In any event, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.